For instance, he had the Midnight Creeper, the 4-Day Rider, the Wobbly Ball, the Trouble Ball, the Bat Dodger, the Step and Pitch It Ball, the Whipsy Dipsy Do Ball, the Nothing Ball, and his famous hesitation pitch, which seemed to slow up and then go. But he had one more. He had one more that he called his B-ball. And he was supposed to ask, Satch, why do you call that your B-ball? His reply was, because it bees where I feel sick. Yes, Satchel was very cocky, but he had the stuff to back it up.
Gary G, in this Black History Month, we have a Byron Motley, great historian about umpiring and baseball in general.
The Negro Leagues.
The Negro Leagues.
Yeah, that's my specialty.
Tremendous presentation today. So give us the highlights of talking about your father, first of all.
My father, up until his passing recently, was the last living umpire from the Negro Baseball Leagues. There'll be no more after him. He was he umpired in the Negro Leagues for 13 years, from 1947 to 1960, and had a good run there, and he tried to make it to the majors, but the majors weren't taking black umpires at the time, and so he never realized his ultimate dream of getting to the majors, but he did umpire in the Pacific Coast League as well. But I think he was really honored that he was in the Negro Leagues for so long, and that he was a part of history. Of that particular history, because the umpires are the greatest black ball players at the time. Satchel Paige, Don Newcomb, Larry Dovey, Satchel Paige, the list goes on and on. Some of the great players he had the privilege to umpire.
How did that inspire you, knowing that your father was making history and has made history? How did that spill over into your life to be successful?
Well, growing up, I took it for granted. It's like, okay, he's an umpire, it's a big deal. But I got older, I thought, wait a minute, this is some incredible history he was a part of. So I really embraced it, and I actually co-wrote his memoir with him, because I thought it was a story that people needed to hear. Because you don't ever hear the umpire's perspective of the game. The umpire is always the forgotten person of the baseball diamond. So I thought it was important to capture his history because it was so unique and different and special than I think most players have their things. But my father was also a World War II veteran. He was one of the first black Marines and grew up in a segregated South. So all that's encapsulated in his memoir. And of course the Negro Leagues as well. So he had a really very interesting and dynamic life.
How did he get into umpiring?
Because he wasn't a very good ball player. And he loved baseball. And he tried out for some teams and didn't cut the mustard, but he knew he wanted to be a part of the game. And when he got injured in World War II, he was doing a pickup ball game, and that's where he found his passion for umpiring. So it was, being down, being injured, but he found his life's calling, and he was down and out, and that was umpiring.
Umpiring.
Yeah.
And as far as being in Kansas City, I guess that was your home base.
Yes.
What did that mean as far as being in Kansas City? Did he travel? Did he do that full time?
During the summers, his job allowed him to go umpire games. So in the summer, he would travel with the teams, on the bus with the teams from town to town. He got into some trouble sometimes, some fights with some of the players. If they didn't like what he called during the game, they would have a little conversation on the bus. But yeah, he traveled with the teams and did that for several years, many years.
So he was behind the plate all the time?
Not all the time, but he was the chief umpire in the Negro League, so most of the time he was behind the plate. Give
me one interesting story that you remember that was a highlight, that was inspirational to you.
Well, I think one of the most interesting stories, it's a fun story, it's about Satchel Paige. Because I asked him, I said, what was it like to be behind the plate watching Satchel pitch? He talked about how the velocity of Satchel's pitches were hard to throw, how the catcher would catch the ball and kind of fall back on my father because he threw so hard. Satchel never did this, but my father also said that if he called a ball and the pitcher thought it should have been a strike, he said the next time he threw the ball, the catcher would lower the glove so that the ball would hit my father in the face mask. Those guys are not fooling around back in those days. So if they didn't like the way you called something, they were going to get back at you one way or another.
they had to have some pretty serious equipment back then.
Absolutely. So he said he got hit in the face mask many a time. So it's just like part of the game. But you know, you suck it up and you do what you do. You still love it. You still love the game. But he didn't back down either. He didn't back down. He threw a lot of players out. You know, threw a lot. He once said he cleared not only one player, he cleared the entire bench. Totally said, I don't want to see any of them on the bench. Send them back to the clubhouse. Back down and he's out. As you told the manager, as you need them to come back, call them. I don't want to see anybody on the bench. So he was tough. He's a Marine. You know, he's a former Marine. So he was a tough guy.
He was a no-nonsense umpire,
He
huh?
was not backing down. He was not scared of any of those players.
Right.
Not at all.
Wow. Well, give yourself a big shout out for the event. And wait, one other question I want to ask. How is your presentations and your speeches, how's it impacting our community, the younger black generations, because there's not as many African Americans in baseball anymore?
Yeah. Well, I hope it's impactful. It's nice to see there's a nice presence of African Americans here today. A lot of times there aren't. Most times there aren't. I think we take our own history for granted, and we think we know a little bit, so we think we know all of it, and we really do not. So I think it's really great. I'd love to see when I see young black kids in the audience learning and wanting to know more about any kind of history, because it's our history, and we don't really embrace it like we should.
Right.
So hopefully we'll start doing that.
All right. Well, give a shout out for yourself, your website, and on and on.
Byron Motley. My website is www.byronmotley.com, and my other website is www.byronmotleyphotography.com. So that's me. Twitter, all that stuff.
Thank you, Byron.
Gary G with them about the news here at La Pinaresca Park.